Alright, ladies and gents, what up? It's your favorite Asian robot right here. Hopefully your favorite official content creator for the First Descendant. And today, what I'm going to talk about is the bunny build for 400% infiltrations. You guys have seen me use this and you guys said we want this, even though it is realistically the same as what I've done before. So effectively, you can consider this a repost. The only difference is that I'm using the non-crit modules in place of the crit modules, but people still said they wanted to see the build, so here it is. You want it, you get it, okay? I'll just deliver it, I don't care. Alright, so I will deliver this build to you guys. I do have to say a little something though. Apologies for not putting up the members at the end of the show. Now, we will be giving thanks to the top supporters for December, but normally I also do the top channel members. I just have a bit of a problem right now because no matter what I seem to do, I thought it was an internet problem, but I cannot seem to pull the list of members. So what I'll have to do next week is I think I'll have to just manually go through it all. And I will literally manually write down every single channel member in the top tier and then make a list on an Excel spreadsheet or something. And then I'll give that to you guys. So sincerest apologies for that. Let's begin the build video. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's talk about Bunny. Okay. Bunny is the farming queen, and since Freyna's rise to popularity, you know, Bunny users have sort of gone down. Now, it's Freyna users infecting everything. And I don't mind that because most of them are pretty decent, but some of them don't actually follow robot builds or even decent builds, and then you just get some weird Freyna that just dies all the time. It gets wild. So hopefully this will help bunnies not die, but I do have to also tell you that this build itself comes with strengths and weaknesses that you have to be aware of. I'll tell you a bit about that during the section right before we go into the 400%. So first, we're going to talk about the build. I'm going to remove my cam. We're going to talk about the build. Then I'll tell you about the strengths and weaknesses and all that. Okay, build-wise, for the reactor, a purple reactor is good enough. You want to use a gold reactor, you can. If you are working on a weapon, though, you probably want to put the weapon in your first slot. So I highly recommend a purple reactor, so you can just, like, for this one, it has assault rifle, right? So I just shoved Excava in the third slot, which I don't care about, and I'll usually hold, like, a weapon I want to level up in my main hand, yeah? So that's it. For external, and for the stats on the reactor, I went with singular and electric. You don't really need anything else with this build. Singular electric is the best possible rolls. Gold, you're good to go. And of course, take a singular reactor, because that helps play off Bunny's lightning emission, which is going to be your main skill for this build. Okay. All right. For external components, what you want is HP, mostly to survive. I have two components, which is the sensor and the memory of the annihilation set. You can also choose, if you want, you can also choose to use a HP based sensor with either consumable drop rate or MP recovery in combat. Either one works. It doesn't really matter. Consumable drop rate is better because obviously this is a farming build, and like I said, you don't really need the extra MP recovery in combat. So you could chuck on like a HP support sensor and use the annihilation processor here, which would have like max shield and, if you can, equipment drop rate modifier, which is a good choice. And basically you'll end up with a bit more hit points but less defense overall. So it's up to you what you choose. I was messing around with defense but less HP. So here I had the normal HP support processor, something like that. Okay. So HP with max HP, MP recovery out of combat. Annihilation sensor is good enough. Max MP consumable drop rate. Annihilation memory with defense and MP recovery modifier. Or if you really want to, you can have gold drop rate increase modifier. This is another choice. But annihilation memory is usually pretty good. And you want the HP support processor here with equipment drop rate and max shield. Why two sets of the annihilation? Because it increases skill duration by 5.7%, therefore allowing your lightning emission to last a bit longer. All right. This is necessary to bring lightning emission right up to the wire. What do I mean about that? We'll talk about that soon. Oh, and guns don't matter in this build. I recommend Enduring Legacy, though. At least have this built up with all three of my builds. Why? Because the Enduring Legacy will help you against bosses, which is where Bunny's build will struggle because she is designed as a mobber, and the bosses in the 400% tend to be a little nasty, so you can use Enduring Legacy to cover for that weakness. Okay, coming into the build itself, right? Let's actually talk about the modules in this build, and I'll show you how it plays off with the Annihilation sensor. Now, what I want you to take a look at is lightning emission right here. If you take a look at lightning emission, you'll notice that I've got the cooldown down to 22.3 seconds and the duration to 22.9 seconds. So exactly when it cools down, you can activate it and have it last the whole way. I like to match up duration and cooldown like this for Bunny. Therefore, um, I'm I'm not going too hard one way or another, so it leaves me a lot more room for damage-based skills. How do you actually achieve this match between cooldown? Because the original cooldown is 30 seconds, the original duration is 20 seconds. How do you achieve this match? Well, that's why the annihilation sensor is important. The extra duration here, as well as the other stuff that you get, will help you out with this. All right. So let's talk about the build in question. For your Transcendent module, you can use either Electric Condense or Electric Charge. It really doesn't matter. Do not use Bionic Fuel. This is not a Bionic Fuel build. Okay. So Electric Charge will make your jumps deadlier. Electric Condense is if you just want to use your ult for fun. All right. This can be used in the boss rooms to explode for a few giggles, and also to dish out a little bit of extra damage to the boss if you want to. All right. Do take note that you actually move faster when you have Electric Condense on. So that's a good bit of fun that you can use. But for most of the 400%, you'll be using your lightning emission. All right. So mid-air maneuvering is your sub-attack slot. Pretty standard. Make sure you have a Malachite socket so that this gets plus 15 capacity. Now, for your actual modules, Nimble Fingers will help your cooldowns. Okay, that's your only cooldown module. And in terms of range, you need skill expansion and maximize range. You must have both, all right? This is how your lightning emission becomes like a radius of 20 meters, which can help you lazily delete everything, which you will see in the 400% as you just barrel through. MP collector is pretty important as well, because without this, you will run out of MP. There are no MP conservation mods in this. Why? Because number one, they're not necessary, but if you're killing consistently, you should very rarely run out of MP. You can still run out of MP, but a quick moment of having your speed of light off will help you regenerate all that MP, so don't even worry about it, all right? And also in 400%, enemies drop the mana orbs like water, so you really won't have trouble with much MP. Except in certain dungeons where the running phases are a bit longer. But for the most part, I haven't had an issue, and you've seen the same thing on stream, okay? All right. In terms of your survival, increased HP and Battle of Stamina are very important. Battle of Stamina is what helps you match up the duration of your lightning emission with the cooldown. Increased HP just increases your HP. Both of these are your survival. You don't need too much HP in this build, but having about 2 modules helps you survive pretty much most things and makes the boss fights a little easier than trying to have just 1 module and going in there. It's not pleasant, especially if you're solo. In a team, okay, fair enough. But if your teammates have to pick you up all the time, they're probably going to get pretty unhappy with you, so do be careful of that. Now, in terms of stacking up the damage in this build, right, here's what I use. Power increase and electric amplification will boost your skill power. You guys should know these two. These two are multipliers. They will work together, therefore giving you more damage. Singular amplification and singular specialist is what we use in order to buff up the overall skill power in this build. Again, we are not focused on electric condense. So because we are increasing the power of lightning emission alone, electric condense will not hit as hard. So again, this is why you may not need this. You can actually dish out enough damage with electric charge, but singular specialist, singular amplification is what will boost your lightning emission to the highest possible extent. Now, these changes are not shown in the actual window, but they will be shown in the info section. All right, singular skill power modifier right here. All right, so this is shown here, but not in the actual window. I mean, you guys know this already if you've seen my videos, so this is all right. And that is basically the build for this. Now, I'm sure you guys don't just want to hear about the build. I'm sure you guys want to actually see the build in action. So we are going to go take you through that. Now I'm going to go into a 400% run. So we'll just go there real quick. So we can use the Haven, the Chapel. Doesn't really matter. We can go to the Chapel. 400%. Now, of course, I'll go solo. All right, Mr. Solo Dolo right here. There we go. Now we will run. We will run with the speed of light. Now, while this loads in, right, I mentioned I would talk a little bit about weaknesses. Okay, this build suffers in boss battles. And also, Bunny tends to survive a little less than Freyna, so do be careful of that. It is still good for farming, but overall, if you're doing something like, say, 100% or 250% where mobs are not dense, you might want to take high voltage instead, because it is faster. It does more damage and will help you speed run even faster. Alright, now, we use speed of light, and off we go. Charge up your electricity, let your lightning pulse. Alright, you'll see mobs just straight up dying, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Even if it's a 400%, the mobs will die. Turn your electricity on and off as needed, okay? Do not waste it. Sorry, turn on and off your speed of light as needed. Don't waste it, because if you waste it, then you'll run out of MP faster, and that's literally no help to anybody. Alright? Oh, and you have to make sure to kill every creature before moving on. That's the other thing. Alright, once I'm sure of my route forward. And as you see, there are always MP orbs. Like, I do turn off my speed of light occasionally, but for the most part, there's MP orbs that always drop, so don't sweat it too much. There we go, give him a little zip-zap zoom. And remember that although the ring hits in a radius around Bunny, it does have some vertical height, so you can actually be above them, alright, and hit them hard. Don't forget that in situations where you're dealing with tougher targets, to use your grapple. Why? The grapple allows your pulse to pulse faster while you are grappling, alright? So that'll help you out in being a little bit faster. Okay, grab your loot, move on. Think of yourself as some kind of mobile lawnmower. Alright? So you see this big chunk of people spawning? No problem. Grapple around like a pole dancer and you're pretty much good to go. There we go. And if anything survives, just, I don't know, hit him in the face with your guns, and they should be done for. There you go. Any elites that may survive, just shoot him in the face, and you're good to go. Eki deki day. So to an extent, Bunny can be a little bit faster than Freyna for speed runs, at least in the mobbing sections. In the boss sections, it depends on how well you handle them. So for the mobbing sections, you can go extra fast. The boss sections, you might want to be a little cautious. Usually for the boss sections, I'll just pull out my Enduring Legacy. This is where I get happy, and I start blasting. That's about it. Now, depending on the type of boss you might face, you might want to prioritize one or the other. In this particular one with pest form Claudia, you might actually want to prioritize Claudia because she's extremely annoying. So usually I will just prioritize murdering her. And if you start running out of hit points, please just kill the minions. Grab some more hit points, alright? So again, boss section, you suffer a little bit compared to Freyna, who has an ability specifically for bosses, which is really, really good. You will suffer a bit, but it's not too bad. Just, you know, get rid of one and then the other one will not be an issue. A lot of times that people struggle with the 400% in solos is because they don't kill one boss. They'll try and fight both at the same time, which is great, but most of y'all are not Achilles, okay? You're not gonna succeed. Not even the Brad Pitt version of Achilles. And
especially
thus,
the Brad Pitt version of Achilles.
yeah, most of y'all aren't gonna stand outside Troy shouting, Hector! All right. And that's the end of the run right there. Kaz revealing herself with the laugh. I guess I was too
Very
funny.
sorry.
You couldn't hold the laugh, right?
I couldn't.
No, it's okay. We're gonna play video games later, so she's here listening to me.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings you to the end of this demonstration. That's how you run the 400% bunny. Is it better than Freyna? In my opinion, no, but people still want it, so okay, you can have it. Just be aware, like, Freyna exists, you may as well just use Freyna, but some people, y'all still want bunny, then okay, here you go, you can take it. All right, so enjoy, have fun with it. Don't get yourselves killed. All right, you can speed through most things, but boss rooms are a bit difficult. If you want to, you can do 400%, especially in season 2 with the match me into a random dungeon feature, which I plan on using because it's a great way of connecting with the community and just helping people out. I plan to use that a lot in season 2, so you'll just see some random bunny running around. Like in teams, it's actually pretty good because you can speed everybody through every section. You get to the end, wait for your team, take on the boss together, so that can be pretty good. Of course, some people don't like that, but I mean, hey, if they're in random matchmaking and the real Asian robot shows up, then they gotta accept the fact that they're gonna suffer pleasurably, of course. All right, so thank you very much. Don't forget to like and share the stream. And of course, last but not least, we can now finally, after so long, start thanking our top supporters again. It is the month of December. We don't have that many yet, but you know, this is a great start to the month. Top tipper, CG Mayhem, thank you so much. I've actually included your November tip in there because I wanted to thank you. Top super chatter is Lawbreaker right now. He is in the lead. The other top super chatter is George Tishon. He is pretty close behind. We've got D Russ, and our top channel membership gifter is Arcane Silver 300. Thank you guys very much. All right, been an absolute pleasure, and so sorry about the channel memberships, but I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't do anything weird while I'm gone. Don't be thirsty like I saw y'all in the developer live stream. I was watching that whole thing and everybody was like, geophysics, geophysics, geophysics. Don't be like that, okay? Remember, be better. Be Buddhist. You know, get rid of your worldly desires. See you guys on the next one.